Everyone, Martin Tyler here, welcoming you to the UPC Arena in Graz in Austria, a venue of convenience for England and Japan to play their final games before June the 1st, the date when the 23-man squads for the World Cup have to be finalised with FIFA. Team news for you, starting with Japan. They have their Brazilian-born defender Marcos Tulio Tanaka available again after injury, which means that Yuki Abe reverts to midfield. The junior of their three goalkeepers, Kawashima, gets a start today. Keep an eye out for Keisuke Honda, who's had an outstanding season in European club football. The side is captained by the Wolfsburg midfield player Makoto Hasebe. David James wins his 50th cap in goal for England, and in front of him the first choice back four, who, injury permitting, will surely start against the USA in Rustenburg on June the 12th. Johnson, Ferdinand, Terry and Ashley Cole. Tom Huddleston is given his first start in midfield after just a couple of substitute appearances, and Capello has gone for width and pace by including both Theo Walcott and Aaron Lennon. And the Sunderland striker Darren Bent, who missed out against Mexico on Monday because of a hamstring injury, is given his chance today in tandem with the talismanic Wayne Rooney. It's been quite wet here in Graz, in this stadium which was formerly called the Arnold Schwarzenegger Stadium. It has been subsequently rebranded. It is home to the two clubs in this area, Sturm and AK. England have been based in Austria for the best part of 2 weeks, with a short break in the middle to fly back to London for their domestic send-off game to South Africa, a 3-1 victory over Mexico. But Japan have come to Europe after losing at home to their great rivals South Korea. Mutterings of discontent at their coach and their team from a usually enthusiastic and sympathetic fan base. Theo Walcott has played 10 times for England before today. England have won all 10 of those games. So if there ever was a lucky charm to take to a World Cup, it might be the man wearing the red number 7 shirt. Not guaranteed a place yet in the squad. Tom Huddleston from Tottenham. I think Huddleston and Bent are the players maybe with most approved to Fabio Capello here. The public certainly supported England's win at Wembley on Monday night, but the press and the expert observers were a bit more critical. But some of the regulars like Ashley Cole and Lampard on the ball here, back to support Rooney today after not being considered. John Terry another not considered, David James another not considered for the Mexico match because they linked up with the squad a bit later than the others, having participated in the FA Cup final. Played back to James by Glenn Johnson. So David James' 50th cap, following a distinguished set of goalkeepers. Here's Rooney, a distinguished attacker, and Aaron Lennon trying to get there, coming in from the left-hand side. An easy claim in the end for Kawashima. Move started by one goalkeeper with a long clearance, ending up safely in the grasp of the other. Terry. Ferdinand, one of those who did start against Mexico, along with Glenn Johnson, who scored an outstanding goal, along with Walcott and Rooney. It's a huge squad of England players here, 29. And Gareth Barry is still getting treatment back home. Here's a Lampard within shooting range, which he loves to get to. And actually have named 18 potential substitutes. It's a big bench. Johnson crossing is Endo, last year's Asian Player of the Year. Third meeting between the two countries. England won the first at the old Wembley. Look at the referee, who is from Austria, René Eisner. England won the first of the two previous meetings back in 1995 by 2-1. 6 years ago, the two nations also met in England at Manchester City of Manchester home. Finished 1-1. Remarkably, there are 11 players in this England party who were on that team sheet the last time England faced Japan. James looking for Rooney. A little bit awkward, a bit of sparring, I'm sure. The majority of players will think that they've got to be careful, because they will be on the plane to South Africa. Japan have named their 23-man squad, but of course there is the opportunity to change it. And there has been call for change from the Japanese supporters, particularly for the coach, Takeshi Okada. He's been talking up Japan's chances, but the performances haven't been encouraging. Foul on Walcott, trying to double up on here with Kubo. Left back. Chance for England to make some use of this Lampard free kick. England have been strong at set plays. It got them out of a jam on Monday against Mexico. They scored 2 first-half goals from corners. Bit of a dummy in the end by Tanaka. Just about did the job. Karen Bent, an outstanding season with Sunderland in the Premier League. Never quite looked the part in his admittedly brief England career. It's only his 6th cap. Player who's naturally easy on the eye, but certainly his goals record in club football speaks for itself, and has certainly attracted Fabio Capello. This is Kono, who is starting on the right, Nagatomo on the left. Bent getting support from Lampard. His attempted crossfield ball was not quite one of his best. A debate about Theo Walcott amongst the English media and also the England supporters. He's got that hat-trick to his name against Croatia, in Croatia. Standing match-winning performance, and certainly, although he's not perhaps as consistent as he would want to be, undoubtedly has talent. Tucking in behind him there, Glenn Johnson. Across on the cover, and an important touch here to concede the corner. Which Endo will take. Wilson trying to keep Abe in his sights. Comes in low, and it's a fantastically worked goal. And Tanaka has scored it. A corner kick routine, no emotion on the bench. The style that England used to look for in the days of Teddy Sheringham. But Fabio Capello's side have had trouble, not in winning matches, but in keeping clean sheets. And they're on the back foot here. Well rehearsed, well worked, very well taken. No wonder he points skywards. An important player, born in Brazil, of Japanese origins. And they've been struggling for goals, Japan. beaten 2-0 at home on Monday by South Korea. Prior to that, beaten 3-0 at home by Serbia in March. And it looked, from England's point of view, a soft goal to concede, but you have to compliment the Japanese coaching staff for coming up with a routine that unhinged more highly ranked opponents, and it's Japan, who technically are the home side in this fixture. It's looking at home with an early goal. Honda. Confidence counts for so much. Japan trying to press, and now down goes Walcott, and two of the Japanese players rounding on the Arsenal wide man, saying he made more of this than he should have done. The defender close to him was Nagatomo. Here's Nakazawa, who played all three of the games in the finals of 2006. All running through John Terry. Lennon trying to change direction, more at home on the right than on the left, but pleased, I'm sure, to get the start here. And not a bad attempt by Okazaki. Okazaki, in the end, not leaving it to Endo, was also there if required, but he's a player who scored 15 international goals in the calendar year of 2009, the best in the world. So obviously not shy of shooting. Bent. And Tanaka trying to backheel it out of the England number 9, not successful. Lampard letting fly. England had begun rather relaxed vein. They're not relaxed now. Japan keeping up their record of having scored now in all three of the meetings between the countries. What Fabio Capello has had in his time with England, the side hasn't always performed to the Italian head coach's desires, but they are a team capable of scoring goals even when they're not playing particularly well. Glenn Johnson, Frank Lampard. Ferdinand looking left to Ashley Colling. They've got two very attacking fullbacks. So you know the game is played at the moment. Passions do come and go tactically in football. Although in the end there's nothing, or rarely anything that hasn't been seen before, even such a free kick that Japan have scored from. Lampard, Rooney trying to link up with his fellow forward Bent. Japanese players are blessed with decent technique. Every now and then there is an outstanding player like Nakata who comes through the country system and makes an impact wider in the world of football. And here's one of that calibre, Keisuke Honda, who started the season with Venlo in Holland, having helped them to promotion to the top division in Dutch football. Did so well with the step up. To CSKA Moscow took him, and he ended up playing in the Champions League in the second half of the season. So just giving possession to Lampard. Here's Lennon. They've got plenty of width, now they need a bit of quality to go with it. Huddleston is a natural passer of the football. Tomo doing well. Certainly both fullbacks should be put to the test by the way England have set out the side that was announced yesterday by Fabio Capello. It's an unusual departure for him. Glenn Johnson didn't quite get there quick enough. And, grimace of disapproval as Capello's England went a goal down. It's a foul throw, it's a schoolboy error by Kono. Japan are in Group E. They start against Cameroon on June the 14th, and they face the Netherlands. They'll finish their group fixtures against Denmark. Rooney. Got stopped in the act. Tazaki's layoff, and plenty of pace and manoeuvrability about Japan's play. Tomo emulate Ashley Cole and at least forcing Glenn Johnson back, but it's a goal kick. There's a fair amount of Capello talk in the Sunday papers back in England. He's being touted as a possible replacement to Jose Mourinho at the Italian club and European champions Internazionale. At the moment, Capello does have an exit clause in his contract with the Football Association. Well, he's been saying all the right things about wanting to stay with England. Actually stopping short of entirely dismissing the Inter opportunity, should it come his way. When he stands up in the technical area, you know things are not quite right. Here's Terry. England playing for the first time with the official World Cup match ball. They've been training with it. Two adverse comments about it from the Italy players. Felt it a bit light, a bit capricious in its movement. Stocky Akubu making progress down the left. James following in the likes of Peter Shilton, David Seaman, Gordon Banks, Ray Clements, who's here as one of the England goalkeeping coaches. Those have gone 50 and beyond, in Shilton's case way beyond, 125, the most capped England player of all time. And there with another corner. England looking vulnerable again from a set play. This time for Panaka. England fly straight home from the game, and the 23 chosen ones will leave London for South Africa on Wednesday. Huge interest in their first game against the USA on June the 12th. Here's Ashley Cole. They're just forcing him back. The referee giving the game every chance to breathe here. A couple of occasions already when he might have stopped it. Chose not to do so, but sportingly, and Johnson rolls the ball out. It's challenged by the beefy Huddleston. Okazaki. It's no time to be picking up an injury, of course. It is a time to impress the coach, particularly where you're in the marginal group. Capello has said he knows 20 of his 23. 3 places up for grabs, and Huddleston may well come into that category. Pretty gloomy for the England fans so far, as gloomy as the weather has been this morning. But this is still the phony war. Terry. Ferdinand, who does like that big diagonal ball from right-sided centre-back, wide left. Terry across. Personal problems that he's had through the winter months really affected his performances on the pitch. Captain Chelsea to the League and FA Cup double, despite losing the England captaincy. Bent. Linked up with Walcott unsuccessfully. Happy to take an extra touch or two through their midfield. Rooney coming deep to try and influence the play here and run at the Japanese backline and put Aaron Lennon in with a great pass. Comes back off the goalkeeper to Rooney again. Best moment so far for England in the build-up. But Aaron Lennon couldn't get the better of Kawashima. The influence of Rooney and the importance of Rooney, very apparent. Endo. Too many twists and turns by Okubu. And can't get the ball forward accurately enough. Aaron Lennon in support of Rooney. Beautifully timed run, beautifully timed pass. But, the shot really at the end on his left foot didn't carry a great deal of conviction. It was a good save. Maybe not the most difficult one that Lennon could have forced from Kawashima. Rooney, who's become a bit of a orchestrator on the field for Capello in terms of remonstrating with his teammates when they don't meet the highest standards, and a mistake by Ferdinand, and he's got away with it. And it was a real chance for Japan to grasp a second here. Swing and a miss by Ferdinand, and then Okazaki with a great opportunity to make it 2-0 for the Japanese in 20 minutes. Lennon. Has England been based here in Austria? Japan in the last 3 days been settling in Switzerland. Altitude training is important given some of the height of venues in South Africa. Foul given against protesting Okubu. Stadium capacity is just less than 16,000. And allocation sold out. England's free kick. And the ball travelled a long way, and won't be too happy about that. Terry can stay up because it's a corner. They're missing it. Coming out of Sebe. Back by Lennon. In the end, neither one thing or the other. Strong Tottenham Hotspur representation in this England squad. Testimony to their excellent season, finishing 4th in the Premier League and earning a shot at the Champions League through the qualifying round. Terry. We're just coming up to the halfway mark in the first half, and pretty eventful in the first quarter of the game. First team one down, could have been two, and might. Oh, it's wasted in the end by Okazaki. Chance to press going forward again. Kono with the throw. Hasebe. Done by Okazaki. Ferdinand can leave it to James. There's a club position. It's certainly not clarified. It's been offered a new deal by Portsmouth, who've been relegated. Harrowing season. And Clements probably not have noticed any depression in James's natural personality, which is a strong one. He's been touted as a possible manager of Portsmouth next season. And we've got a free kick here. Entrusted to Lampard. With a number of England players in this group, for whom this is really a last shot at a World Cup, you feel, coming up. Shot at goal by Lampard. Goalkeeper spilt it, and Darren Bent couldn't be first on the scene. A bit of cunning in it, but really Hiroshima should have dealt with it better. But you can see how that ball made different tracks through the air. Lampard now trying to use it to take the corner. Bent got the first touch, Ferdinand the second beyond the far post. Japan looking to counter-attack. You really don't want to go into a World Cup tournament with a juiced-up match ball that makes proper technique redundant. The ball does the work for the players. You might hear a bit more of this from the best goalkeepers in the world, for whom it's more than a natural occupational hazard, it's rather man-made. Glenn Johnson. Now Huddleston. Ashley Cole has made a good recovery from a damaged ankle sustained in February, playing for his club in the Premier League. Nice little pass, spell of interpassing by Japan. And the difficult ball was just overcooked somewhat. Darren Bent came on the corner here, put his head to it, but not sure what he had in mind. If it was an effort at goal, it wasn't the best. Shouting for handball as Endo brought the ball away, still within his penalty area when it bounced up. Throw by Johnson. Nothing that has happened with England over the last month or so. A number of injuries and other sort of distractions as well from time to time. The usual hype around the England team in a World Cup year has been somewhat less, and I think that will help the players. England have always operated better as an underdog, even in 1966 with home advantage. A lot of criticism of Alf Ramsey's team as it was then. In some quarters, even after the World Cup was won for the only time with England. And the Japanese beginning to feel here that the Austrian referee is being a bit hard on them, which is by Okubu and then Hasebe. New England get another free kick, and if Japan keep giving them away in this sort of area, they have the expertise to strike back. Lampard again, having a good look. Encouraged to shoot again. Endo. To pick out the advancing Nakazawa. It's confidently done by Japan. And the ball, trying to get it in behind the two England centre-backs to the very willing Okazaki. Huddleston. Now Terry. Kono committed himself and is now trying to chase back and got the touch in eventually off Lennon, but it broke the way of Bent. And now Walcott. And fans appeal for handball again. Here's Glenn Johnson leaning back as he struck it with the inevitable result. Lennon's had the best chance so far. Japan have taken one of theirs from an early corner, catching England napping. Honda. Abe played in the centre defence against South Korea on Monday. They've worked it well through midfield. The apologies from Nagatomo. Johnson has got a problem with his boots. Harry Lewin, who is the head physio, fetching and carrying from the dressing room, where it must be a bit tight for space. And England getting 29 players stripped for action. A couple of whom I don't think would take part. Ledley King, who did resume training yesterday. He's a player who can't train every day of the week. He needs a bit of recovery time and need a long medical history, but he's a very good player. England might take a chance on him going to the World Cup. It looks as though they're going to do with Gareth Barry, as long as they feel with medical tests he will be fit for England's second game in the group against Algeria. Glenn Johnson, properly shod now, is racing back into position. On from Ferdinand. Bent might get in here and does get a touch as the goalkeeper came out. Couldn't produce his first England goal. Very direct, very nearly very effective. Mishima, who made that very good save from Lennon, but has looked a little bit iffy in a couple of moments since. Didn't really command the situation. Bent got his touch, but wide of the target. Johnson, headed on by Lennon. And heading to the World Cup finals for the 4th consecutive time. Very speculative from Okubo. As for Vissel Kobe, has only been professional football in Japan since the mid-1980s, the J-League since 1993. They've made very big strides very quickly. I think they're beginning to grasp some of the wider aspects of the football culture, certainly in the way their supporters, who are the byword for enthusiasm, have just started to get that football fan sense of complaining when expectations aren't met. They'll be happy enough with the way this game has gone to this point. But he won't be. The theatrical adage, the worse the rehearsal, the better the performance. Phrase to clutch onto. The case for Japan. Steven Gerrard has got a little bit of a calf strain. Whether he will be used from the centre of England's midfield come the big day in Rustenburg to link up with his fellow Liverpudlian Wayne Rooney. They're very good pals off the pitch. Looking for Lennon. Abe keeping it ticking over in midfield. Kono. They're able to turn. There's Hasebe, won the Bundesliga season before this one with Wolfsburg, surprise champions. Able to successfully defend the title. Bayern Munich's excellent campaign. Here's Glenn Johnson. That's not all wrong. England have been training very hard. So too have Japan. Kazawa to Nagatomo. Japan losing possession in their own half. Still more than 10 minutes to go to half-time. England trailing in Graz. Huddleston. Real precision was required. It's just a little awkward for Ashley Cole. He's one of those whose place is not in any doubt. Ferdinand finding the main central striker, Okazaki, a lively opponent. Huddleston, really like a quarterback here, able to distribute the ball. He fires it at Rooney, who takes it with great aplomb. Tanaka able to intervene. Good pressure by England on here, and it might force an error. And Kono gets it away. But seen as a foul by Okazaki. Terry. Terry again. Here's Rooney. Lampard's ball, very nearly splitting the defence for his club colleague Ashley Cole. Two Chelsea men. There's Okubo with typical gusto, but not quite enough subtlety. Rooney, challenge by Kono. Wow, he stayed forward, the right back ahead of Honda. It wasn't a great ball to him, the CSK Moscow man. Terry. They've been working hard with the back four that they're using today in preparation only doubt about it, really, during the course of the build-up was the fitness of Rio Ferdinand. Missed a lot of club games with Manchester United. Lampard. Rooney. Better for England. Header away by Marcus Tulio Tanaka. Walcott. Moving his own way. To weave a magic smell. Really hit by Huddleston, and Rooney trying to deflect it in. Huddleston's really made a late run into World Cup contention. It's undoubtedly a shot. Rooney trying to manufacture a way of the ball ending up in the back of the net. His hot streaks with England. He's on a bit of a lean run in front of goal at the moment, but much more to his game than just scoring goals. Honda. Hasebe. Kono. Honda again. Johnson's challenge was enough to just end the move, which carried a bit of promise from Japan. And ranked to 45 in the world compared to England's 8th place. They certainly are going against ranking in leading at the moment. It's a lead that, first and foremost, they want to protect to half-time. Kubo battled hard to get the ball back, and is a feisty competitor. Passed it for Johnson, got it back from Johnson, and then was grounded by Johnson. The danger to David James was the run across the ball from Okazaki. As the goal scorer, Tulio Tanaka, he was probably looking for goal again rather than Okazaki, but typically the number 9 hadn't given it up. Clicked on by Bent. Lennon. Looking to Rooney. Back by Glenn Johnson, and it was for Lampard. He's just trying to get it back across the face of the goal. Went with his right foot, which might have been his wrong foot, if you get my drift. England's first World Cup opponents here, USA, had a pretty untidy first half against Turkey yesterday. But Bob Bradley, the coach, came up with a much more competitive setup in the second half, and they won the game 2-1. Goals from players who play in England, Josie Altidore and Clint Dempsey. Maybe Fabio Capello follow that particular blueprint. Terry. Wide players have been kept pretty much under wraps. Just the moment where Lennon was put in by Rooney. Real chance to equalise. Headed on by Rooney. Bent. Walcott. To prevent his progress, so he goes back to Glenn Johnson. He in turn to Huddleston. Not closed down here, but goes for the pass rather than the shot. Ashley Cole has got a forwards eye for goal, although he hasn't yet scored for England. It's very much to the fore. A Chelsea's goal glut of a domestic season. Actually got the last league goal of their campaign, an 8-0 win over Wigan to clinch the title. Walcott, little deflection on the attempted cross, but it only helped Kawashima. And the 6 permitted changes. And the regulations govern non-tournament internationals. I always hesitate to call them friendlies. Can't be anything friendly about them really, except the handshakes beginning and the handshakes at the end. Terry trying to increase the tempo of England's passing. Hasn't been at full throttle. Rooney hammering it across to Walcott. It's a dangerous ball, good handling from Kawashima. That's what Walcott is capable of. Might be something of a wild card, if you like, for England, but he can make really telling impacts. Possibly be seen as a player coming from the bench in South Africa, we'll see. Fabio Capello hasn't lost his faith, and remember, every game that England have used Walcott in, I know there's only 10 of them before today, England have won those games. At the moment they trail with a minute or so plus added time to go to half-time here in Graz in Austria. Rooney. In a way, that rather typifies the way it's gone for England, who've been getting plenty of plaudits from their rivals. Lionel Messi talking up Capello's team. Del Bosque of Spain talking up Capello's team. You look at the performances, the fans who travel everywhere with them. England will have a lot of support in South Africa. The performances haven't been totally convincing. It's only their 3rd international in 2010. The other 2 have been won by a 3-1 margin at home to Egypt, and then the start of this week to Mexico. It hasn't been an illustrious first half for the side in the red shirts. And that is the half-time whistle, and Fabio Capello heads for the dressing room with a talk to make. And he might get the wake-up words out for England, who conceded that goal to Marcus Tulio Tanaka from an early corner. There have been 1 or 2 chances, one a very clear cut for Aaron Lennon that he couldn't take. Kawashima kept it out. England haven't really got out of first gear here in Graz. They need to certainly improve, put their foot on the throttle if they're going to avoid an embarrassment with the World Cup squad just 2 days away from its finalising. At half-time, it's Japan 1, England 0.
Sport doesn't stop this June on Setanta Sports. World Cup warm-up games. Live cricket with the Tri-Series, the Asia Cup, Ireland versus Australia, and Zimbabwe-India 2020 series. The Churchill Cup. Cage fighting with WEC 49 and live GAA continues. Sport doesn't stop this June on Setanta Sports.
Barca TV on Setanta Sports. Enjoy coverage of La Liga, Champions League and Copa del Rey encounters, plus news and features from inside the Camp Nou. Barca TV exclusively on Setanta Sports.
The Churchill Cup, this weekend, live on Setanta Sports.
It's quite strange this, because there's a half an England team out on the pitch and the other half waiting for the official decisions to allow the substitutes to come on. Goalkeeper Joe Hart will take over from David James. Steven Gerrard there will win his 80th cap, become the 12th Englishman to reach that figure. Come back, as I say, for Joe Cole and Jamie Carragher and Sean Wright-Phillips also to be involved. Joe Hart played the second half against Mexico, taking over from Robert Green. That was Hart's second cap, so today takes him to 3 all second half appearances. Wayne Rooney is amongst those who have survived. And England looking to have an upswing in their performance in this second period. Carragher coming on at right back. Noticeably Gerrard playing in the centre of midfield. He has been used a lot in the qualifying campaign, a very successful qualifying campaign for Fabio Capello. Playing from the left-hand side, not totally on the left-hand side. Prefer to be in the heart of the action. The old debate, can he and Lampard play in the same area of the pitch in the same team, will be reopened here. Wright-Phillips on the left, Aaron Lennon on the right. Joe Cole just being asked to work maybe off the front to try and create something for Rooney. Doesn't look too good for the World Cup maybe for Tom Huddleston and Darren Bent amongst those who have been replaced at half-time. Carragher talked out of international retirement by Fabio Capello. It's part confirmation of rather drastic half-time team changes by Fabio Capello. Gerrard. Only partially away, Wright-Phillips letting fly. He's got a decent goal-scoring record under Capello, playing for his country. Lampard. Gerrard, good try. That's what he can do from a central position. And the goalkeeper not helped by the ball going through Nakazawa's legs, but Kawashima kept it out. The 2 changes to confirm for you. Joe Cole. Rooney. Invited away from Lampard. Phrase, more questions than answers comes to mind about what we've seen so far from the England perspective, but it's not all about England here. Japan are trying to get their act together, rebuild a bit of national confidence in their team. Carragher never lost to Far Eastern opposition. They are trailing here. Joe Cole. Lampard. Well, certainly the morning rain has the pitch a bit treacherous at times. Even surface than the Wembley pitch that England have been playing on. Carragher. So, no stoppage of play. Okubu went down. And, in a hurry to play on and try and sort out their problems here and avoid a real media inquest. Goal scorer, Tulio Tanaka. Most authoritative ball across to the far side of his back line. To add insult to injury, they can't even spell his name right. Darren Bent came into this game with a sore hamstring, and it might have affected Capello's thinking on him. Ferdinand. On from Lampard. He can't keep it. Rather a lunge by Frank Lampard. Hasebe. Real of experienced players in this England second half setup. We were there in 2006 when England didn't perform at all well in the finals in Germany. Honda. It's a good try. He's famed for his long-range shooting, particularly at set pieces, but this was from free play. He thinks there was a touch on this, maybe off Terry, maybe off the gloves of Joe Hart. Goal kick given, England taking it quickly. Lampard. Now Gerrard. Lennon. Play in the finals of 2006. Walcott went to that tournament but wasn't involved, was seen very much of the babe of the party. Wright Phillips. Now Frank Lampard. And back in organised fashion. Trying to use the full width of the pitch here. Nagatomo. Tidy up. Ferdinand going in there and probably in the World Cup. That would have been seen as a foul. This referee's done his best to let the game flow, and at times I think the Japanese players have felt a bit hard done by. That was one such occasion. Okazaki got his body in front of Ferdinand. Terry. Now Lennon. To take on Nagatomo. Aaron Lennon will be happier playing on the right-hand side. Had a really outstanding first half of the season with Spurs, and then damaged a groin muscle late in December. He's out for the best part of 4 months, so should be pretty fresh going into the World Cup. They've been playing their trade week in, week out. Like Gerrard. Trying to come up with a successful corner at the start of a half, as Japan did. To get their 1-0 lead. Back comes Rooney. He was often accused, if that's the right word, praised, I guess would be a better word, for his energetic style, that he will, like every blade of grass, try and help his team to success. There are occasions where it's just sheer enthusiasm takes him out of the coach actually wants him to be playing. It's given away by Hasebe. Wright Phillips trying to get away and fighting hard for the ball and for his place in South Africa. Sean Wright Phillips for England. That will be a free kick in England's favour, as Lampard was caught. I think protesting that there might have been a foul earlier. It would have gone Japan's way. Gerrard and Lampard both have served England well in long international careers as goal-scoring midfield players. Between them, they work out what's going to happen with this free kick. It's Lampard to take it. A penalty. Handball in the wall. And England have a golden opportunity. Lampard, who's taken the free kick, is the penalty taker. And it was punched away by Honda. There. Undoubtedly handball. Stupid act. Lampard, who missed a penalty in the FA Cup final, you might recall. It didn't cost Chelsea too much. Pulled it wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post. He goes that way, and the goalkeeper saves. A brilliant save by Kawashima, who's surrounded by his teammates. He must have watched the cup final. That is Lampard's preferred side. He got it on target this time. But Kawashima got down low, an outstanding piece of goalkeeping, agility and, most of all, anticipation. And it stays 1-0 to the Japanese. Again, Takeshi Okada, the coach, keeps his thoughts to himself. But this is the third choice goalkeeper, really, behind Narazaki and the veteran Kawaguchi, but that was a first choice, first class stop. Eiji Kawashima. England going to the World Cup on the back of a penalty failure. And that's Rooney taking out his frustration. Tulio Tanaka. He's still got that hot temper. He's controlled it better in the last couple of years, but I think it's a sign of him that opponents will target to try and rile and rattle Rooney. Remember, red-carded in the quarter-final against Portugal in 2006. Today, England went out on penalties, and it's a penalty failure that's haunting them here at Graz at the moment. Ashley Cole. Second penalty that Lampard has missed for England. One was in a World Cup warm-up 4 years ago against Hungary at Old Trafford. He's not a happy bunny at the moment, nor is Frank Lampard. Fine piece of goalkeeping, and all credit to Nakazawa, who got to the follow-up. The keeper needs a bit of help from his teammates when he pushes it out like that. England still trail. Cromo's header. Gerrard playing on, although Kubo is down, but he's not down for long. A bit of emotion shown by Takeshi Okada then. Trying to get it through to Joe Cole. That position just behind the front man. Nagatomo lucky to get the ball back again. Getting wide on the right for him, certainly not in the England half. Tanaka. Who got away with his handball. And the flag goes up against Rooney. There's a real chance to run in behind for the Manchester United striker. There wasn't much in it. It's Carragher on Okubu. Led to the interchange between the two coaches. Japan waste the free kick for the offside. They have had very little controlled possession in the 15 minutes of the second half, as the team now has struggled a bit to come to terms with the way the opposition have altered their personnel. As the coach took to the finals in France, much trumpeting of Japan's first World Cup in '98. What we'll be trying to do in South Africa is win a match in the World Cup finals foreign soil for the first time. Two home successes in 2002 when they were very welcoming co-hosts with South Korea. They got to the first knockout hurdle then, fell at it, beaten by Turkey. And got a round further and went out in the quarter-finals, again you might say. Endo. Played it wide to Nagatomo. An hour gone in Graz. Not a happy hour for England and their supporters. As often is the case, colourfully attired. They'll need some warm gear in South Africa. The fact that it's a Winter World Cup will get plenty of mentions. It is seen as an advantage for countries from north of Europe, phased by playing in colder temperatures, often phased by playing in sweltering temperatures. The very warm World Cups that we've had, including Germany the last time. Joe Cole, and there's a lot of room here for Aaron Lennon. It's about decision making. He looks for Rooney's head. Might have just gone on and gone for goal. Not a big scorer of goals himself, Lennon. Had that chance in the first half. Joe Cole. Rooney complaining he's getting buffeted and balked by Tanaka and Nakazawa. Compromising defenders. Here's Gerrard. Right, Phillips. Rooney coming out to get within range of goal. But Kawashima, fortified by his excellent work from the penalty, will be beaten from the best part of 3 times the distance. What Japan will be looking to do would be to just be able to play the ball around with a bit more confidence. And for John Terry here, a collision with apologetic Honda. Every injury at this stage will be keenly scrutinised. Goes Okazawa, placed by Iwamasa. Nedley King, who has been brought back into contention, is no doubt whatsoever that King has the talent to play for England in the World Cup. Has he got the durability? Wrapped in cotton wool by Tottenham. They use him when he's available. I can tell you he played the full 90 minutes on Monday and did train yesterday, so that suggests that the recovery is maybe rapid enough for King to be a viable contender for a place in the team, let alone in the squad. That's the collision with Honda, wincing Terry. Seems to be no lasting damage. Who's come on incidentally is Morimoto, the striker for Catania. Confusion over the squad numbering. Scott Parker, Adam Johnson left on the sidelines in the England squad. Here's Nagatomo, Honda. It's a fine ball. And Hart makes a fine save from Morimoto. It's the best bit of football that Japan have put together in the second half. Morimoto, who's not been used much by Japan, but has forged a reputation in Italy. It's only his 5th cap. Very nearly got his 2nd goal for his country. Rooney. Here's Lennon. Back with the Carragher. The trail from the early minutes here. A moment or two ago, gone 2 behind, but Joe Hart's had an outstanding season. Manchester City goalkeeper on loan at Birmingham City. It's typical of his club form. Here's Rooney. Carragher. Rooney's touch to link up with Wright Phillips, who found himself in the middle then. Lennon. Carragher. Now Ferdinand. Doesn't seem to be any lasting damage to Terry. Foul on Joe Cole by Yuki Abe, who seems to have taken the responsibility for just picking up Cole. And he drops off the front. Lampard will make up for the penalty failure. It's a curler from Rooney, it's another fine save. Kawashima boosting his World Cup credentials. See what was in Rooney's mind. Trying to whip it into the top corner. That's a great reach. And England looking like a side capable of turning this game around even in the last quarter of it. Lampard's corner is dealt with by a Japanese side with a different approach here. Certainly Okada sticking for the most part to the side that started the game, just freshened it up with Morimoto coming on up front for Okazaki. To some extent the result is more important for him and Japan. Carragher across. Jamie Carragher made it quite clear when he was called in by Fabio Capello that he didn't want to take a place of anyone who'd featured prominently in the qualifying campaign. Carragher out of England, reckoning by his own choice for 3 years. Wright Phillips, stopped by Honda. Good tenacity from him. Morimoto couldn't keep it going and then just got a bang across his chest. And Terry outstretched arm. Ferdinand. Looking for Rooney. Cole just having to at times be circumspect to make sure that not all the midfield empties itself forward. So 20 minutes left. Still rather improbably, still 1-0 to Japan, not because of the shape of the game, but because both sides had more in the first half than in the second, and other opportunities. Kawashima has made a series of outstanding saves to keep England off the score sheet so far. Rooney in particular then. The player who's come on is Matsui, plays for Grenoble in France. Joe Cole, and it's in. And England aren't off the score sheet now, and Tulio Tanaka has made an unwitting touch there as Joe Cole was looking to cross. It is 1-1 and the goal was coming, and a favourable turn of fortune for Fabio Capello. That own goal almost into the same spot where he put the ball in the right end early in the first half. Joe Cole contributing, and his experience and his capacity to turn a game around, I think, will get him on the plane to Spain. He was one of those being talked about in the week as being maybe surplus to requirements. Wasn't involved in the match in Mexico on the FA Cup final clause, so to speak, but he only played briefly in that FA Cup final as a substitute. England now will think that they can move on from levelling it up, having had to work so hard to get there. Lampard will feel a lot better to actually beating Japan here. Gerrard. Here's Carragher, a more defensive-minded right back than Glenn Johnson. His ability to play there is one of the factors got him into the squad. Oh, and the goalkeeper wasn't quite sure. Sure that that one's going across the face of the goal harmlessly. The original ball in towards Rooney, and Kawashima Just a little bit, whoops, hesitant, but he patted it away off Rooney's head. Ashley Cole trying to get it back to Rooney's head. Couldn't do so. Unfortunate to lose his clean sheet to an intervention from a teammate. Japan have struggled to maintain possession in the second half. Save by Joe Hart was important. Could easily have gone to 2-0 with the only real threat that Japan have put together since the restart. Instructions via the laptop from Stuart Pearce to Emil Heskey. This could be maybe Lennon off and Cole out on the right, where he forced the own goal. Heskey up front with Rooney, or he could be a direct replacement for Rooney. Here's Matsui. No Nakamura for Japan today. He's got a calf strain. A player who is well known to the England team for his work in Great Britain with Celtic. Inamoto has played in England, of course, for 3 different clubs, and in Wales for Cardiff. He's also on the bench for Japan. Nagatomo still going. Well defended by Ashley Cole. Having a look across. See, it's coming up from the bench. It's not coming up yet. Heskey. Does come on for Lennon. Is the first option that I outlined. Heskey, who's always been a good team player for his clubs and indeed for England, but is not a prolific goal scorer, but seems to bring the best out of strike partners. And, they score goals when he plays. Cole left a foot in now, coming from the right-hand side where he's been switched. Is Heskey and Rooney, the pillars of the qualifying campaign in tandem. A good number of them will have forked out a considerable amount of money to get on the planes to South Africa. The fans these days, much more respectable bunch, if I might put it that way. In those awful hooligan days where I felt ashamed to be English at some tournaments, I must say. By Terry. Matsui. Cole tracking back well. Endo. Here's Abe, who's not known for his goal scoring. Ball to Matsui. Tomo's gone round on the outside again. Great energy. Japan's left back today. Matsui, almost a gap for him to go through. Heel to Nagatomo. Endo, wearily looking for Hasebe. England trying to play on the break here with Lampard. Mike Phillips, Cole setting off outside him. Sure, Mike Phillips again. Advantage played by the referee from Austria, René Eisner. Switch of play was just a bit too expansive for Lampard. And I wonder again, I don't want to make too much of it, but some of the players who've been using this World Cup ball in warm-up internationals have seen that it moves and dips through the air, and that was certainly the case then. Honda let rip. Deflection off Terry. A convenient height for Joe Hart, but he had to react quickly from Morimoto. Just the feeling that Rob Green might start the tournament, given the way that he played against Mexico in the first half. It was outstanding. It's probably his best 45 minutes in an England jersey. Heskey, again, Fabio Tanaka feeling that some of the 50-50 calls have gone England's way. There's 10 minutes or so to go. Gerrard with the free kick, England trying to get their noses in front for the first time. Heskey climbing. Carragher. Lampard. For Gerrard. For Rooney. For Gerrard. Well, probably as good a piece of football as you've seen from England today. Taken 80 minutes. Just got a bit too tight in the end. Gerrard not wanting to use his left foot. Shot might have been on earlier. Great goalkeeping by Kawashima. It would be a shame if his performance has really revved up his chances. Playing the World Cup for Japan is by an injury here, and of course there's always the risk that the tournament itself might be ruled out. The Japanese 23 has been finalised, but they have got until Tuesday, June the 1st. That's when FIFA take the final squad list, and in very serious injury circumstances it can be changed after that. But medical criteria have to be fully satisfied. There's no scope for any late changes of heart from the coaches. Heskey get there. Not quite. Playing second fiddle at his club Aston Villa to the Norwegian John Carew over the second half of the season. John Cole hasn't been able to force his way into the Chelsea side over the last couple of months. Wright Phillips hasn't been in the Manchester City side. It means they haven't had so much game time, but it does mean that they should be raring to go. Carragher. Has been a permanent fixture really in the Liverpool side in a very unsettling season for that particular famous football club. Ashley Cole's ball in, and it's found its way in the net again. And another unwitting defensive touch. Nakazawa stretched rather, and Ashley Cole has put in a ball too difficult for Okada's team to defend. And it's another own goal. One for each of the two centre-backs. It may well propel England to victory, but it will not, I don't think, dampen some comments that are coming of a feisty, fiery nature. How strange is that? 3 goals provided by 2 Japanese players, and England lead 2-1. Hasebe. Honda. by over-eager Morimoto. Well, Ashley Cole made it happen. He actually slipped when he was crossing it. But across it was. A touch a striker would have been proud of. Not one that Nakazawa would want, and poor Kawashima, who's been so excellent in Japan's goal. And it's again a teammate has put the ball past it. Wright Phillips. Made by Kono. Put on by Gerrard. Out by Tulio Tanaka. Lampard. Would like to get one. Struck by one of their own players. You sense that could still happen. For Sean Wright Phillips here, who's swapped sides with Joe Cole. The rain has returned. Fans not exactly singing in the rain. But happy that it looks as though they'll leave Austria on their travels seeing England win, which is the way it's been under Fabio Capello. Performances haven't been great, but the results have been very good. Keiji Tamada has come on for Endo. Tamada has previous World Cup experience. He's 30 now. He's from Nagoya Grampus in the J-League. Trying to liven up the closing minutes here for Japan and maybe get them. He's offside. Here's Morimoto. 4 minutes plus added time to go. Cole trying to make the most of the time to catch Capello's eye. Rooney. One is England's current preferred score, if you like. They beat Egypt 3-1, they beat Mexico 3-1. Day in Britain than it is start of summer here in Austria. Wet conditions encouraging one or two England players to fly in with their challenges. First foul could have been given. Advantage was tried to be played by the Austrian referee. England, as you expected, have been the stronger side. They now face a strong strike from this young man, Yusuke Honda. Growing reputation. Is he going to take on Joe Hart here? Hart's made one fine save from him. Wasn't recognised by the referee who gave a goal kick. Right on the limit for a strike from distance. Hart, part of the England under-21 set-up that got to the final of the European competition at that age group a year ago, but he got himself suspended, sent off in the semi-final, suspended from the final, which England lost 4-0 to Germany. Gerrard, oh, what a chance for the 3-1 scoreline for Emil Heskey. 7 goals in now 58 England appearances. Could easily have been 8. Lovely ball from Gerrard. Just a reminder that England do have the quality in the right areas, but whether the whole is greater than the sum of the individual parts, would suggest not quite, not yet. Time to show that is in South Africa. And they're on their way there. They've got another game actually to play in Switzerland on Friday against the Ivory Coast. Sebe worth a crack in these closing seconds, especially with the surface greasy, but the shot was of the high kind rather than skidding it. Joe Hart, he flipped it on its way. Japan have a corner. Tamada to take it. He's going to go against Brazil in the finals in Germany. He slipped the crucial stage, and that was hit the top of the bar. I don't think the corner that they intended, but they nearly made something of it, having scored from a corner right at the start of the afternoon. Very nearly equalising a different routine. That's how close it was for Joe Hart and company. Abe at the near post as we go into added time. The England regulars will be glad to get this over with, not to be threatened by injury. But I'm not sure there are perhaps quite as many England regulars as there was at the start of the afternoon. The chosen side, originally having a couple of experiments with Huddleston and Darren Bent, didn't work out for those two players, it seems, although Huddleston got a lot of the ball and hardly had a sniff of things as England struggled in that first half. Influx of more experienced players like Gerrard, the return of Joe Cole, Jamie Carragher, a stabilising influence at right back. They have been able to turn it around. Ferdinand's header. Done it with a helping head and foot from Japan's two centre-backs. Abe, and who now trying to come up with a flourish at the end, and Hart has to save again from Tamada. It's there to be hit. It's the members of the England squad, those who've played. Theo Walcott waving to you all. Ready for departure. Departure to the local airport. Any little niggle will become a national event over the next 10 days or so. Japan go back to Switzerland to prepare for their very last game against Ivory Coast on Friday. England have a non-official match in South Africa just to check out the conditions against the local side. Count towards caps. This, the recognised sense, is the end of the match preparations. It hasn't been particularly lengthy. One game in March, two in May, and maybe that's why there have been some wrinkles here that have needed ironing out. Maybe that's why Capello still has some thinking to do before he absolutely finalises his 11 for the first test against the USA. Well, Japan led for a long time, but Capello's side yet again found a way to win. This was a strange way to win with two own goals. The first from Marcos Tulio Tanaka, who'd given Japan the early lead. Ashley Cole set up the second own goal, which goes down to Nakazawa. Wayne Rooney played the full 90 minutes, but it was in the second half where England found a bit of strength and they found their goals. These games in the phony war are always difficult, but there's no doubt that England can play better. Their fans hope they will play better when they get to South Africa. And Japan can take some comfort from a much better performance than they gave in their own country on Monday when they lost to their great rivals in the Far East, South Korea. Hope you've enjoyed it. Final score here in Graz: Japan 1, England 2.
Live World Cup warm-up games all week on Setanta Sports, featuring New Zealand, the Ivory Coast, USA, Sweden, Japan and Russia. Live World Cup warm-up games all week on Setanta.